Alright, it's the moment you haven't been waiting for. The single video that will give this long playthrough any validity. Otherwise, I wasted my time and I should completely be ashamed of my life. The following is a 6-on-1 gauntlet match, and it is for the Kanto Championship. Making his way from Route 2 Kanto, weighing in at 87 pounds, he is 1/6 of the Kanto champions, Pidgeot! And the challenger, from Viridian Forest, weighing in at 22 pounds, Kakuna! Yeah. Okay, so sorry it took a little while uploading this one. I decided for this one I'll do a full commentary. It was asked a while back on one of my Weedle vids, and since I'm the quiet loner type, it's been difficult, so I kind of blew it off. But this time I think, I should just go ahead and do it for real. Gonna go ahead and smack the guard spec on, since half this Pokemon's moves are stat alterations, Feather Dance, and Sand Attack, and whatnot. And since the other attacks involve Whirlwind, that's a totally worthless move since I only have one Pokemon in my party. And Aerial Ace, a physical attack, and defense is obviously the best stat for a Kakuna. This will be very, very, very easy for stalling and putting all the battle items in and have them all in effect for the other 5. With that said, the X defend goes before any of the offensive items, as you can see. And there we go, spamming the Sand Attack, which is doing nothing. That's right, his AI intelligence that was designed for little kids is no match for my adult intelligence. And thanks to the leftovers, it allows me to just go ahead and add all these battle items without having to waste turns with potions and such. And now we add the Dire Hit, a very important but also very easy to forget item. And there's an Aerial Ace. Even with double the damage, it does practically nothing. And the leftovers seem to practically heal the whole thing. Ain't that just convenient? And with X Defend and Dire Hit all taken care of, I can now move on to X Attack before finally hitting back. And then Guard Spec runs out once again. Strategizing with Guard Spec was really, really annoying this time compared to Silver, since all you had to use with that game was just 1 and you were good. In this, it has the 5-turn limit thing, so I couldn't, watch TV or do anything while I was doing this battle like the other ones, since I had to constantly keep track of how many turns I was using. Otherwise, this Pidgeot would just instantly spam a bunch of Sand Attacks and the Feather Dance and all the whole 9 yards, and that'd be like an extra, 5 or 6 turns I would have to end up using to replenish that and then recover from it, from the damage and all that. It was just, ugh. And speaking of strategizing, this is probably the most I ever had to strategize for any game. I had to do this battle so many times because of dying or I was ill prepared or something. And I actually ended up having to do this all over again, including the Elite Four, where I did the first time at early level right after the Victory Road thing, and then I went straight from there to the Elite Four and I was doing fine. I was at level 92 before I got here. And then I found out I wasn't strong enough to go against the Arcanine, and it one-hit KO'd me instantly because it survived with a slither of health, even with all the X attacks and the critical hit and everything. It really sucked. It took me a whole night to get through the Elites and to get to Blue to find out it was all for naught, so it left me pretty butthurt for that whole night, especially because I knew then I'd have to waste another day doing it again, and I'd have to train before that, so it took even longer. But the Hall of Fame picture does make it completely worth it in the end, so I couldn't just let Kakuna be a total failure. And hey, I got all the X attacks in, so that's all dandy. I can finally hit back after all these few minutes passed. So at this point I was strong enough that if I had a critical hit I could have one-hit KO'd Pidgeot. So I need to make sure that I had all my my guard spec was working by the time I got to Arcanine. Otherwise an attack would get lowered and then I would lose right then and there. But luckily, because this playthrough went really, really good, I could just go ahead and just attack away without having to worry about guard spec going out quite yet. The Pidgeot in Pokemon Red was way stronger than the one right here. That one was able to one-hit KO me. And that's when Blue decided to pull out the top tier Psychic back in the Gen 1 days, Alakazam. Oh, the good old Gen 1 days. Back when it was considered a punk move to use Psychic Pokemon, excluding Jinx, Exeggutor, and Starmie. Since they had the second type, they were more balanced, but pure, it was considered a huge punk move to do that. Same with dragons and ghosts. That's what I was told anyway.
Level 96. Alright.
Anyway, so just like Pidgeot, this is one of those times where it has to go 100% right, otherwise it's an instant fail, and I had to nail a critical hit right now on Arcanine. Guard spec lasts just long enough for the Intimidate to be worthless, and this is where the dire hit comes in. I had to critical hit this Arcanine so many times before this ended up working out. The very first time I came from Victory Road, and I was battling the Elite Four with no problems, and I got to Blue at level 92, and everything was going totally fine until I got to Arcanine, and the first time I got hit by Intimidate, and that weakened the attack. I nail a critical, he survives it, I die, I do it again, I block the Intimidate, and I get a critical hit once again, but then I find out that still wasn't strong enough, and so then I had to end up failing it, and then coming back here, and then I had to do it again so many times before this ended up working out, and I think I'd end up doing this twice now, and then that's how I got here. After 5 million or so tries of this battle. It took a whole night to get up here the first time, and then I had to do it again. I was sad. And I'll be mentioning that a little bit more towards the end. But from doing this a bunch of times, it made me learn how to fight everything, such as using a guard spec right here on this Rhydon one more time before I didn't need to use them anymore. It's always nice to pack a pharmacy and use it on a single Pokemon though. Okay, so Rhydon dies, and I was getting all excited here and whatnot. And I was super terrified at the same time. That's why I took all sorts of precautions against this Exeggutor. If I remember right, the first time I did this battle, I don't believe Exeggutor ever hit me, just a lot of status changes and all that other stuff, so that's probably why I went ahead and decided to just go and slap on a max potion, my mistake, on my Kakuna, despite the fact that I wasn't really recovering much, and that right there is the status thing I was talking about. But getting here was so hard that I didn't even want to take a single chance at it. Taking a bunch of chances is kind of what made this run fun at first. Taking advantage of that good old protagonist luck. And this is around the time when I felt a little stupid when I was hit by this egg bomb, and it did barely anything right there. Nice waste of a max po, and I was hustling for a lot of money throughout this game. This was the only run I've ever had where I had a money problem after the first gym. It's not until you don't have its weakness before you realize how great of a Pokemon Exeggutor really is. I wonder if anyone's ever done a solo run with it. Oh, looking it up right now. Oh, nope. No one's ever done it. I'm gonna think about that. If I did do an Exeggutor solo run, I'd have to evolve it the instant it hatches from an Execute. I can't stand Execute for some reason. Maybe because it's just pink and eggs, I don't know. I mean, I got nothing against eggs or nothing against the color pink, but I guess I can't stand them together. Speaking of pink, I did love rocking that pink shirt in X and Y. And now for the death blow. Look at its little legs there. Almost like it's doing a little dance. Like that frog from Looney Tunes. You know, that hello my baby, hello my honey. That frog. That's what he looks like. Aw, he fainted. Oh well. And finally Blastoise. I died a little inside doing this battle, since Blastoise was always my childhood BFF, making Venusaur my childhood antagonist and whatnot. But not Charizard. No. I prefer Charmeleon anyway. I'd rather have a gold Charmeleon at level 100 than a black Charizard. Even Kakuna shows gold is best. But back to Charizard. He was way better in the anime as Charmeleon. Probably because he was small and all that stuff while he acted the exact same, pushing Ash around, acting like he was the greatest, all that. Then when he became Charizard, he just became an a-hole. But it got funny again later when all those other Charizard that were way bigger than himself pushed him around. But enough of that rambling. So the plan of Blastoise was to just basically stall until Hydro Pump ran out. Earlier I took the bold move of hitting him the instant he came out, because I thought he was going to do Rain Dance, and the reason I thought that was because this is the second time I battled him. The first time he nails me on his very last Hydro Pump. After going through all this stuff, and there was only that one last move that would prevent me from winning possibly, and it goes and happens, and I had to start all over again. A lot of starting all over throughout this whole thing, and I got pretty anal about it. And by nailed, I mean critical hit. You believe that? On the very last one? It was absurd. That pretty much haunted me for the rest of that hour, hour and a half, or however long it took me to get back to this. So I just prayed really hard for the next 5 turns that he wouldn't get a critical hit again. I would have raged so much if that did happen. I'm not normally even a rage person, so this game really pushed it. And so right about here I was like, no way, you mean this actually went right? So I got super excited here naturally, since his last move was not only a non-water type, but it was also physical. Very helpful with the 6x defense, and he says he's Rain Dance after it's completely worthless now. Then at the last second I came to a realization that Blastoise has the best defense out of all the starters. And also, his bites are doing a lot more damage than I was expecting. I like how the rain is kind of making it stall, and giving it that more dramatic effect. So aw darn. Blue goes and uses a full restore on his Blastoise, exactly like I'm sure most of us were already thinking. So the excited battle continues. So I was super amped through the whole thing, and right here I was like, yeah! Oh. But then I was like, no problem, it's just one more hit, right? Then it's gonna be Hall of Fame and all other fun stuff, and this will all be finally over after 2 days of struggling to get through here. And then he goes and uses a full restore once again, and then I was like, oh, why won't you die? But I forgot Blue has like 4 full restores, so this could last a little longer. My heart was pounding on this last bit. I wasn't this excited since playing fighting games online. You know, when both sides are, you know, really low on health, and one combo could really determine or make or break the match, basically. That was the kind of excitement I had right here. I was super tense, but I was thinking, oh, it's okay, just a little bit more. He doesn't have unlimited full restores, he only has a few more. It's all good. And I just go and heal a little leftovers there. Anyway, so I was thinking it was all good, and I just nail him, and I was expecting to be in the red again, and what do you know, he goes and dies. And just then I was like, oh right. And that's how a champion Kakuna does it. Sure, I had to lose 5 million times and had to rely on excessive amounts of luck just to win the one time, but it all worked out in the end, right? Alright, and here's the evolution. It would have been really funny if I didn't press anything and he had actually evolved. Make it look like a Pidgeot did this whole thing at the last second. That would have totally ruined my run, but it would have been funny. And of course, one of the classic scenes of this game, Professor Oak comes in just in time to see his grandson lose and rub it in his face and then talk about how great you are. Now, I haven't had my granddad around since I was 2, but I'm pretty sure that's not the way you're supposed to act. Or, you know, any family member is supposed to act for that matter. But hey, who needs morals for a video game? How Blue walks around and acts like he's so great throughout the remainder of this game, I will never understand, and the world will probably never know. And without further ado, the moment I've been waiting excessive hours for, and what makes this solo run valid and such. Ooh, Hall of Fame pick. Yeah, the money shot right there. Ain't that just exciting? Makes you want to show it to your kids, huh? I'm glad they don't show the money in this, you know, like in the first game they show how much money you got, because I'm flat out broke compared to most champions. I wonder how much money I had to blow. Aw, Blue ran off sad. Anyways, I wonder how much money I had to blow in total just to get through all 4 of the elites and the championship battle. And I wonder if it would have even been possible to get without the amulet coin. Without battling any more than I already did, I mean. Wait a minute, are they all going in Victory Road? That's a weird place for Blue to rage quit, don't you think? Okay. Anyway, since this is the quote-unquote end of the game, I might as well just go ahead and just throw some things out there. After doing the whole Weedle thing, and this Kakuna thing about 3 times, I'm about, probably close to done with it. It pretty much killed my whole patience and everything with these games doing this. The first time I read it was really fun. Silver, it was okay. This game, it just got a little since it took most, if not all, of my cunning and such. So, I mean, I felt great for doing it, but just getting through it was a little bit of a pain. Red was really fun, but slow-paced, which I was 100% fine with. With Silver and Red, It was mostly having to always use struggle, and having to find spots to go and drain all the string shots and poison stings. That wore on my nerves pretty fast, and it wasn't even just on steel types or anything. I had to do that with almost every poison type since their defense was really, really good and poison sting was so weak. Same goes for the rocks, and since all the hikers and youngsters had poison and rock, and there were so many of them in the whole game, it got to be a huge, huge test of patience. On my own, I would pretty much quit the Weedle solo run thing since I already have my fill, but if people really want me to keep doing it, I have no problem with that too. I'll definitely be taking a long break from doing that though. I was thinking of doing solos with other Pokemon, in particular one of possibly Pokemon Platinum with Bidoof and Pokemon Emerald with Zubat. This isn't 100% guarantee, but those are thoughts that's going through my head. But I am going to do an X and Y solo run. Somebody had suggested in one of my vids for me to do an Abra solo, which I guess I could do for that, but that's not guaranteed. And also somebody had suggested, although they were joking, for me to do Magikarp, and a bunch of people thumbed that up, so if enough people ask, I can do that one, but I prefer not to. Also, I was suggested a Dunsparce solo, which again, like Abra, I can do, but I just gotta ask, why do people like Dunsparce so much? I don't see the appeal. I mean, yeah, I'm a guy who likes Weedle with that super simplistic design, but I just can't see it with that one. I'm thinking after I finish with these solos and upload the rest of this Kakuna thing that I'm gonna probably make a small vid of me asking people what to do a solo of at some point. I already have the suggestions of Dunsparce, Abra, I could do Weedle again. I was thinking of Exeggutor and stuff like that. But if you do ask me to do one, I'd prefer one where it's not mandatory for me to use struggle. That's just gotten a little annoying. I'd just rather just go straight into a battle right when I can, not go find some spot, go beat up some Magikarp, etc, etc. Oh, and also one thing that's kind of been bugging me for a while, every time I look at a Leaf Green or Fire Red solo run, they always stop right here at this part of the game. I never really got that. I mean, there's still the Sevi Islands and such, and that's pretty decent, long, and pretty challenging, so I don't get why people avoid it. I will be doing the Sevi Islands after this. I'll post that one in a few days. I'm the kind of guy who likes to do anything and everything whenever I'm doing something, so yeah, I'll be doing every little bit, including, Birth Island, Naval Rock, and all that other such. So, yeah, I think I covered everything I can, so thanks for watching, and later, people. Bye!